And it's around this time of year, Thanksgiving comes, the holidays come. It's a wonderful time of year for so many reasons, but for me especially because this is around the time when I got licensed back in 2014. And my God, time has flown. It's been 7 years, and it seems like just yesterday I was that young buck who came into the office mid-December and was ready to take on the world. And in today's video, what I wanted to discuss was the first 4 months of my sales career, my sales journey, and how I learned so much in those first 4 months, despite the fact that I made zero sales. This is Danny Gould, everyone, selling Silicon Valley with eXp Realty. And first 4 months of my real estate career, I had zero sales. And there's a lot of lessons that I learned from that lack of production, the lack of results, and many stories, many tales that I could tell. But one of the most impactful, especially for new agents, and even if you're not a new agent, really, if you're an agent who's doing 6 to 12 units a year, this story is for you too. Because I got caught in the trap that so many of us agents get caught up in. And that is, I came into the office day one, and I recognize based on the fact that I had no clients, I recognized the fact that I had to go out and get the business. I had to go out there, pound the pavement. And I was searching for ways in which I could get in front of more clients. And of course, especially back then, and even now to a certain extent, which is ludicrous to me, but especially back then, one of the every manager, every broker was like, go knock on 50 doors a day, 100 doors a day, 150 doors a day, however many doors you want to knock on. Go call 5, 10, 20, 100 people, and that's your day. That's the routine. You come in. Everyone knows the Mike Ferry routine. From 8 to 11, you're on the phone prospecting, circle dialing. From 11 to 12, your lead follow-up, nurture. You take a 30-minute lunch break, and then you go out, you knock on doors, and basically you spend the whole day prospecting for business. And this is a cautionary tale for any of you who are just now getting your feet wet, and or someone who's doing 6 to 12 units a year, is you get caught in this trap of constantly looking for and trying to find the business. And then what happens? One rainy day in February, someone opens their door and says, of course, I need to sell my house. And you know what? I want to interview you. By the way, I'm interviewing 4 more agents. And that is the issue that a lot of new agents run into, is we are spinning our wheels, looking, identifying, trying to find that customer. And what happens when we find the customer? We have no idea what to say. We've spent so much time trying to find the business and zero time invested in what to actually say when we get the client that says, yes, I want to sell. And in fact, it's so funny because when you role play with a new agent, it's mind-boggling. The first time that you give a new agent the yes, I would like to sell, yes, I would like to buy, you see in their eyes, they're like, well, what do I say now? Because they're so used to taking the rejection. And that is mind-boggling to me, that so many managers, brokers, even team leaders nowadays, they place such an emphasis on prospecting, and yet we never take the time to build our skills so that when we do get the yes, we actually know what to say to the client. And so what do? Well, we get in front of the client that very first time, and instead of knowing what to say, because we've spent very little time actually invested in our skill set and in knowing how to sell our value proposition, we don't even know what our value proposition is as a new agent. The value proposition, well, my manager gives me a 500 free, gives me 1,000 free color copies, or whatever it is, whatever your manager's is giving you for free. That's your value proposition. My manager told me to do this. My manager told me to do that. There is no time invested in actually building the skill of knowing what to say when we get in front of the client. So the mistake that I see so many agents make is they lead with one of two things in these sorts of situations. They lead with personality or they lead with discount. And both of those are a bad strategy for various reasons. Let's talk about personality. Well, number one, it doesn't matter if the seller likes you. I got news for you. No one cares. Like the clients, yes, it may seem like it matters if the client likes you. Guess what? It doesn't matter if they like you. It matters if they believe in your ability to get them what they want. Now, there might be outliers and you connecting with the client in a certain way and all that stuff. But here's the issue with leading with personality. It is not duplicatable. It is not a scalable process. There is no process. And in that, there is no predictable, consistent result that can come from a presentation that leads with personality. Here's the other issue. With personality, there's no value built. And unfortunately, what happens a lot of times when agents lead with personality is they end up going with the discount anyways. They end up being so desperate for the business that they lead with personality and then switch back to the discount, which actually is the second way in which I see most agents, especially when they're new in the business, try to get their foot in the door. And by the way, I'm not talking discount like from 6 to 5. I'm talking discount from like 6 to 4 to 3.5 to 3. And here's the issue with that is that once you lead with discount, you can never get it back. Meaning you build a foundation of a discount business. Guess what happens? You start a discount business. Guess what happens? You build the foundation of a discount business. And I've talked to so many agents who have made this mistake at the beginning of their careers to jumpstart their career. They give up commission. And what happens is they build a Rolodex of discount clients. How do I know this? I myself made this mistake. One of the very first listings I took in my career, 4%. And I say this because, well, now it's only 6, but before it was 4 for like the first, I shouldn't say like 4, like it was like that many. It was like, I think it was 2 that I did that. Well, unfortunately, this is what happens is that now that client is consistently a discount client. I had to fire that client after we sold their house, meaning they are no longer a client in our database. What happened was is that after we closed the sale, every time that he reached back out to me afterwards, he was like, "Hey, Danny, I want to sell my house, but I only want to pay you $5,000. This was actually an email that I got on a $2.5 million home. So, and this is the thing. So we learned the hard way. I learned the hard way. He also referred me to a friend who did not want to pay normal commission. They wanted a kickback on the buy side. And this is a lesson that you learn early on, is that if you lead with discount, you build a discount business. And if you want to take it back and you want to actually build a business built on value, you have to start over from scratch. There is no rectifying that mistake. And so that's the issue that I see with so many agents when they come into the business is we dedicate so much time prospecting. We dedicate so much time trying to identify the client that once we find a client who's willing and able and ready, we don't know what to say. And in turn, we revert back to things that make sense to us intuitively, like, oh, I'll just make them like me, or, oh, I'll just give them a break on this one. And that might work in the short term, but in the long term, either you do not get duplicatable, repeatable results, or you build a shaky foundation that your business can never, ever recover from. This is Danny Gould, everyone. Selling Silicon Valley. Stay legendary, everybody.